And that, I think, is kind of a shame, because despite the fact that we still need to promote legacy industries and newcomers when it comes down to manufacturing, especially high technology, highly regulated industries, certainly tourism and other sectors need to also have a bigger share of the GDP in Puerto Rico, and that represents an opportunity for investment. The governor's vision, he has 4 major areas that are basically summarized in this slide. First, Puerto Rico is open for business, and we mean it every way, in every shape or form. And I think the numbers, you will realize that this is true, that we're literally open for business. Number 2, the governor believes that Puerto Rico should be the natural connector of the Americas, for many reasons, not only for our geographical location, but also because we are a bicultural society. We are the perfect bridge between Latin America and the U.S. mainland. Number 3, that Puerto Rico can become the true innovation hub for the Americas, not only for the Caribbean, but for the whole Americas. And number 4, associated with the previous 3, Governor believes that Puerto Rico should be the natural player and leader of what he calls the human cloud. The human cloud, essentially, kind of an analogy in terms of what is the cloud, computing cloud, but in terms of people. More and more people are citizens of the world, not necessarily of a country when it comes down to business and culture. And he believes that Puerto Rico is the perfect place to basically become a leader in terms of that trend. Connectivity when it comes down to people. I think that if you pay attention to Villamil's presentation, I think that this slide basically showcases what is really that we're trying to do here. So economic growth is not the same as economic development. Economic growth is simply,
Our opinion that by 2025, Puerto Rico's population should be around 3 million. Now, if you compare that number with the population in 2000, what it means is that we've lost 800 and some individuals from the population count in 25 years. That's a substantial number. Now, many people have argued that Puerto Rico lost a great deal of population in the 1950s, and somehow it recovered that population. The difference, I think, now is reflected in the graph on the left-hand side. You see the top line in that graph are the number of births per year. You can see that in the 1950s, the number of births were substantially higher than the number of deaths in Puerto Rico. By 2015, however, the two lines crossed, and since then the number of deaths have been much bigger, much larger than the number of births. What this means is that organically we cannot expect population to recover as it did in the 1950s. And that is, of course, a huge challenge. Now, what this means, if you look at the population pyramids for Puerto Rico, is that in 2000 we still had a pyramid. We still had many younger people working and very few people retired and so forth. So by 2025, the age distribution will have made that pyramid an inverted pyramid. In other words, we have much larger number of older people, and this of course creates havoc and all kinds of things. And this distribution of population basically means that you're impacting every market. It impacts the housing market, it impacts the financial services market, the health market.
273. Why? Because they go together, and they have make an impact when we began to market them together. Act 2022 is very powerful. It's a great success story of how you can compete 15 new programs and pass it from one administration to the other and deal with them professionally. They were enacted in 2012. I recognized the potential. I took several laws and began to market them together. They became a program. They became a movement. And right now I believe that through the collaboration, through the integration of all these new residents, these new companies to our local traditional businesses, family offices, it will be the next big step. Why I say it's a great contribution? It's not only the capital that we need, and we really need capital in Puerto Rico because we all say we have so much potential, but why we don't get that potential? Because we need capital. Dubai does all those things because they have capital. But we have a unique location right in the middle of the Caribbean. We are part of the United States. We are bicultural. So we have a lot of other advantages. Plus, we are the lowest taxing jurisdiction of the United States. So why we don't have that economic development that we want? Because we need capital. But we not only need capital, we need human capital. And these programs are bringing extremely talented people to Puerto Rico that have become residents and that love Puerto Rico as much as we do. So that's something that a lot of people don't look into the equation.
We opened a new nightclub. It opens early. It opens around 9:30, 10. So it's open for an after-dinner drink. And late-night celebrations, it goes till 4 or 5 in the morning. We purchased San Juan Beach Hotel, and we converted it into Serafina Hotel. We did this last year. When we purchased this hotel, it was going through a bankruptcy. It was the worst hotel in Puerto Rico. It was rated number 65 of 65. Now it's probably top 10. It's got a beautiful dining destination, Amare. The outdoor deck is like Nobu in Malibu. Ocean waves crashing right on your dining table. That's our lobby, a great restaurant. That's our pool deck. These are the typical rooms, full-size windows. We, unfortunately, with the hurricane, we lost the St. Regis, but we poured in $65 million and made the whole place brand new. We were told yesterday, I was told that it's the most beautiful St. Regis they think in the entire system. Not only that, we recently won back our Forbes 5-star. High-end home and condo that we have is sold out. We built these $4 million lots on which people build $8 and $9 million homes, and they're all sold out. We don't have any more, so we're building new lots. And I agree with Mr. Villamil, while the population is on a decline, bank deposits are up, car sales are up, so definitely we're not in a contraction, we're in a growth mode. But the federal, I said I'm going to leave more questioning for the end, for question and answers. I acknowledge that, we don't do a lot of press, I really don't come out and speak often, but I think Governor Fortunio passed the 2022 law, and Secretary Bacó, to his benefit, instead of going about trying to change things, he did a hell of a job promoting it. He brought us down. We're the 5th largest employer in Puerto Rico. We're the 8th largest taxpayer. And when I say those numbers, I'm not counting indirect employment or all the taxes that are paid by our roughly 45 million of payroll. Including that, we might be even higher.
That will be adopted soon. And under the permanent reform of 2017, it requires that all of the municipalities that operate an independent office of permits, they need to also adopt the joint regulation. That is a huge milestone because it's going to be the same set of rules regardless of whether it's central government or a municipality. And that is a huge, huge milestone. The second one is the adoption of the same digital platform. Before, a municipality has its own digital platform, whether it has or not a digital platform to receive applications for permitting. And then the central government had another one, a separate one. And because of the permitting reform of 2017, each municipality that has an office of permits, they need to also adopt the same digital platform of the central government, which is now called the single business portal. I can tell you that the very last municipality that remained to adopt the digital platform single business portal actually did that a couple of weeks ago. So today I can tell you and assure you that all of the municipalities and the central government are using the same single business portal for permitting applications. And those two, in my opinion, are tremendous milestones. It doesn't address all of the concerns, but I think are two major steps in the right direction to basically tackle long-time concerns of the private sectors when it comes down to authority of the municipalities versus the authority of the central government.
Thank you, Secretary. The next question is for Fahad. What has been your biggest challenge in doing business in Puerto Rico and investing locally besides your area? You have 5 minutes.
No, it's not that hard. You know what Secretary Laboy just talked about has definitely been probably our biggest challenge. There's definitely a lot of taxes, a lot of government processes and procedures, and it's not a negative. You see, the Puerto Rican economy has been in a recession since 2006, in contraction. So every executive in power,
Because you can never really get an idea of the illegal stuff, drugs and so forth. What was done in those 3 instances for the drug business was essentially to use federal government data on Puerto Rico. And we in the studies, for example, one of the things that was done was to interview people in the underground economy. In the firm, we have a psychologist whose PhD dissertation was on the drug culture. So he had some contacts in that underworld. And it was really quite dramatic. I mean, when you began to see what it meant in terms of money. I remember a young man who was maybe 23, 24 years old. He told us he was clearing $1,300 a day after expenses. And of course, tax-free. So you multiply that by a large, substantial number of drug dealers in the island, it came out to a couple of $1 billion, even more than that. But a safe guess would be that the informal economy, or to use the correct term, would be the unreported economy, is maybe 20-25% of the formal economy. And one of the ways you see how big it is when you compare consumption to GNP. Puerto Rico has traditionally, its statistics have shown that consumption in Puerto Rico is bigger than disposable income. And you say, well, how can that happen year after year? I mean, if I spent more than I earned 1 year, I can do it 2 years maybe, but not 10 years. Well, the reason is that income is underreported, but consumption is reported. So that the consumption figure gives you a much better idea of income than the income.